If you're an Amazon seller and you're wanting to get better with keyword research for Amazon products, then you need to keep watching this video because me and my buddy Shane, who's an Amazon seller, are going to be covering 3 different strategies to finding great Amazon keywords to get you more sales and get you higher in the search results. So first, before we jump into the video covering all the goodies, I wanted to tell you about a software called ZonHero. Now, if you're an Amazon seller and you're trying to connect your Amazon account with your Facebook ad account, then ZonHero is a software for you. What it does is whenever a customer comes in on Amazon and they buy your product, that customer information gets sent over to Facebook so that you can target them with Facebook ads. So you can create custom audiences inside Facebook targeting the people that bought specific ASINs from you on Amazon. You can also create lookalike audiences from those people that bought specific ASINs, and you can also track the conversions that happen on Facebook. So if you're running Facebook ads, and whether you're driving it directly to Amazon or you're driving it to your Shopify store, you'll be able to see how many people actually saw your ad, clicked on your ad, engaged with your ad in general, and then went to Amazon and bought from you on Amazon. So there's conversion tracking, there's the ability to retarget your Amazon customers, and there is a whole lot more that ZonHero offers. So if you're wanting to learn more about ZonHero, then go to getzonhero.com, get signed up, and try out the software for a month or 2 to see if you can really start to import your customers. So now let's go ahead and jump into the video with Shane, where you're going to learn 3 strategies on how to find great keywords for your Amazon products. All right, guys, so I'm super excited to introduce you to Shane with Rise and Grind, and in this video we're going to be covering 3 strategies all around Amazon keywords. So how to research, how to actually implement those keywords in your product listing, and then how to actually we'll leave the 3rd one as a little secret, so keep watching this video. So without further ado, hey Shane, thanks so much for jumping on this video with me, man.
Hey Ian, thanks for having me on. This is going to be a very, very valuable video, and I think that people can use this on numbers of platforms, not just Amazon.
Yeah, for sure, man. So cool. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it, right? With the first strategy in Amazon keyword research. So what would you say that you do when you're, trying to just develop which keywords should I actually target in the first place with my product listing?
Well, so first off, Amazon, it's kind of weird on there because you will be able to, send stuff into FBA and you can piggyback on other listings, but sometimes they have keyword quality notifications where you have to fix the keywords or add them. And as well as when you're
Mhm.
building your listing, you have keywords to add. And so I would say the first thing that I do is you want to, like, Google's a search engine, right?
Mhm.
You want to be able to search what people are typing. So when you type something into Google, it comes up and finishes your sentence. And that's, huge when you're trying to sell a product.
Okay. So just using Google autocomplete then.
Yeah, autocomplete, and then also you can focus in on Google Trends, which it's basically taken Google and what people are searching, and it's forming the trends that people that that's trending and not trending in Google Trends.
Okay. And then what about on Amazon? Does Amazon have any kind of autocomplete or anything like that?
They don't have any autocomplete, but there are fields where you enter keywords. And so just like anything else, you want the whole listing to have a good SEO. So you want the description and you want the title and the keywords to kind of flow, right? Like, because
Mhm.
you're telling Amazon, hey, this is what I want you to tell people when they type this in.
Yeah.
And, for the most part, if you have like this tape measure, okay, you can
Mhm.
look at top selling products and just type in tape measure. And the first couple up on the first page are going to be probably very low ranked. And so what you could do is go on to the selling or the buying side and look at that tape measure and see what they put in the description and stuff like that
Okay.
to get that product a good rank.
So it's like looking at other products. So you type in a keyword in Amazon, you look at the results that it's giving you, then you look at their products and you kind of deduct and deduce what keywords that they're probably focusing on with their listing, and then would you just kind of mock that in your listing?
Absolutely. So you can mock that. You just can't, you have to make sure, like, if there's any brands, if yours is the wrong brand, you can't misrepresent it in any way. You can't use anything that dictates that this is, if it's unbranded, you can't say this is DeWalt because
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
DeWalt could see you, so Yeah, I mean, maybe what you would do is look and see like if they use 25 foot or whatever another word for a tape measure is, or measuring
Yeah.
device or whatever.
Yeah.
And you can kind of dictate like, okay, if this is this low of a rank, maybe these keywords had some success with that listing.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is when you're creating a brand new listing, right? So, how does this work? Like, what if you did your initial keywords, you launched your listing and you let a month or two go by, and then you're like, man, I'm not getting much click-through rate. I'm not getting, much people visiting my product page at all. Maybe it's my keywords. Can you actually go back to the drawing board, change up all those keywords, completely change everything, and then start fresh with new keywords?
Yeah. So as long as you own the listing on Amazon, so like let's say, DeWalt comes in and they make a listing for DeWalt tape measure, you can't change that because DeWalt is the brand owner on the listing. But if you
Right.
made a listing, let's say for a private label product, right? And it's private label, or you made a listing for something that you picked up and it just wasn't on Amazon. If you own the listing, you can change it at any time. So you could actually edit it and change your keywords up, change some of that stuff up, and it's going to send all those notifications to Amazon that you're changing it, and it'll be changed.
And is that like an instant thing, or is it kind of like Google SEO where it's like, it's gonna take time for the robots to index your page, and so you gotta give it another 3 months or something to kinda rank on those and
I wouldn't say 3 months. Usually, if you submit some changes, if you own the listing, 15, 20, 25 minutes, it'll be pretty much completed. Everything will be put in there that you want to change. But I would say, honestly, if you're changing it, you need to leverage some kind of pay per click advertising. So you
Okay.
need to leverage, pay per click advertising, or maybe using ZonHero to push that product out to where you're getting sales on it so it'll start ranking. And I think that's the key is if you've done your keyword research and you think your keywords are solid, your title's solid, your description's really good. I think the number one case is you just need to leverage some PPC
Okay.
campaigns to kind of get that product out there, because if it's buried in the pages, you got to get it found. And once you get it found and it starts ranking, that's the true tail sign of how it's going to sell, right?
Now, what do you think about the whole super URL thing and how you can create this URL with your product page, and that URL can have keywords and stuff in it, and then you drive traffic, using that super URL so that when they purchase using that, then those keywords will get a little bit of, attribution, I guess?
I personally have never really had I've never really done it. So I've never really tried doing anything like that. I've never really looked into that.
Okay.
So I would imagine if it had the keywords in there, it would probably help to some extent because the URL is still searchable, right? And it's searchable text.
Yeah.
I mean, I've just never done it, and I probably need to actually look a little bit more into that stuff, to kind of do some more research on it. And I wouldn't mind actually trying some of that stuff, but I would say it would, if as long as it's searchable text, it would help because anything searchable in text kind of hits on SEO.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So strategy number 2, using and implementing those keywords that you find into your product listing page. Now, give me some ideas. How can you actually be effective with using these keywords throughout your listing?
So what you want to do is you want to really stay consistent, right? And so like if you have the title and let's say you have this tape measure, okay?
Mhm.
And let's just say the brand is Ian's best tape measure, okay?
Okay, okay. I
And
like that.
it's a well-known brand everywhere, but it's your product, and you manufacture it. And we'll put Ian's best tape measure and whatever in there, like 25-foot measuring device. And then you would just take those keywords and implement them in the description. So what you would do, like bullet points, because Amazon descriptions has bullet points, and you would just put like the brand again, 20-foot tape measuring device, and then you might put some key factors: has a belt clip, clips on this way or that way, has a stop to where you kind of go over what features it has. And
Yeah, features
then,
and benefits on it. Okay.
right, features, benefits, pros, whatever. And then you go over, when you're making your Amazon listing, there will be I forgot what it says. It's like other information or keyword information, and you click on that and it has boxes with keywords, and you would just put keywords in those boxes of what's in your title, what's in your description, and what other keywords you think people are searching.
Gotcha. Okay. And so is that really the main place you got your title and then you have your description? Now I remember, on an Amazon product page, it's like there's the little bullet point description, but then as you
Yep.
scroll down, then there's like this big old lengthy
Yep.
area. What is that area called?
That you know what? I cannot remember. Let me pull one up. But I know that it just pretty much is like you have all these tabs when you're building your listings, and you have tabs for like vital info, and it takes all your info and really puts it into that stuff. And so you'll have like a vital info tab, and it'll say like, what is this product made of? Well, it's plastic with a metal clip, and it'll like really have a lot of specs you can put in. You don't have to, a lot of them are optional, but you put all that in, and I believe what happens is all that gets kind of indexed into that category, and they just
Okay.
Amazon really puts it wherever they want to put it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think the main thing you have control over is your title, your description box, and then your keywords. If you fill out the vital info, which a lot of it you have to fill out,
Yeah.
or it'll actually get suppressed, then they just index all that stuff wherever they see fit to make for a good customer kind of buying where they can find the info.
Now, I know with Google SEO, when you're trying to put certain keywords in your blogs, you
Mhm.
can't just like stuff keywords in it and it just doesn't
Yeah,
make sense at all. You got to make it
right.
like you got to figure out a creative way to put these keywords in, but it also makes sense as you read it.
Hmm.
So is Amazon the same way with that?
I would say it's 100% the same way, just like even eBay. Okay, so if you're selling on eBay and Amazon, they're very different. But the one thing is they're basically a search engine for products, and for the most part, they're going to index those products. And I mean, you can see some of them on Google Shopping and stuff like that, right? Like a lot of people will use Google Shopping and the Google Shopping tab in Google, but a lot of people just go onto the sites and search it. And so if you search it, if that product has a good rank, it's going to show up first. And
Hmm.
like on eBay, if you search it and your product, hits so many keywords, or you're sponsoring your listing on eBay or sponsoring PPC on Amazon, that product is going to pop up like dead first when they
Hmm.
search what the consumer is virtually searching. And so I think it's a little different than Google SEO, but it has the same concepts,
Yeah.
just a data driven factor of how many you're selling and what's going to pop up first on a lot of that.
Okay, cool. All right. So that is strategy number 2 and how to actually implement those keywords. Moving on to strategy number 3 now. Now, I didn't tell you that in the beginning, but I'm about to tell you right now. So it's actually using what you think people would actually be typing in. So Shane, tell me a little bit more about the actual real life scenario of how people use searching engines and stuff.
Okay, so really real life scenario is consumer relations, right? What are we searching to type in whatever we're typing to get whatever we get? And what I mean by that is if I had these pair of scissors, what am I going to type in? Am I going to type in the brand, or because they're Scotch brand, or am I just going to type in scissors? So if you can find out, go back in your mind, like on eBay and Amazon, and here's what I've done before, especially on eBay. This works very well. You get a phone, Samsung S8 Plus, whatever, and you just think about, if I purchase this product, what would I type in to search it? Would I actually type in the plus, or would I type out plus? For me, I would go Samsung S8 and then PLUS. I wouldn't go up and try to find that little symbol because it's too hard. So,
For me, like sometimes I won't even know what something is called. And I'll literally, I can't think of a good example right now, but it's like I'll just be, trying to figure out what is the industry term for this thing. And then once I figure that term out, then I'll go ahead and plug in that keyword. And then usually I got a good amount of results there.
right. And so really, like, it's about putting your mind in the thought of the consumer. So sometimes even on eBay, when I'm building a product page on eBay for to sell something, um, there's common things that are misspelled, right? So I will put the correct spelling in the title, and sometimes I will put the misspelled version in the description. So if
Oh
they
yeah.
misspell it, it's going to hit that keyword and it's going to pop up. And so I think, like, and I can't really think of anything, like, I don't know, like, let's say McAfee. This is, antivirus. McAfee, and some people might spell it MACAFE or
Mm.
something like that. And I may put a version that might be commonly misspelled in the description or in the item specific details for the product.
Yeah, that's a cool little strategy right there. Purposely misspelling it because you think that other people are gonna make this same error. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of brands out there that, it's commonly misspelled. Like, you have people searching it and they just misspell it because they think that's how it's spelled. And I think that just putting yourself in the mind of the consumer, and before you type in any keywords or anything, you want to sit there and think, okay, if I were to purchase this, what would I type in to find these items?
Yeah. Or how would I describe this if I wasn't 100% sure
Right,
what the industry name was? How would I describe this thing? Like you were saying, tape measure, right? If English is not their first language
right,
and their first language is Spanish and they're trying to think, okay, how would I, describe a tape measure? I mean, maybe I would say like a rolling ruler or like
right.
long ruler. Uh,
Measure device or measure tape, or and I think a lot of those words could go, like, in the description, because people are going to read it, and as long as that makes sense, they're going to be like, oh, measuring device, yeah, that's meant to be there.
yeah.
We're not trying to keyword stuff the description where it just says measuring device, tape, ruler, about it, it just makes no sense. You want it to flow a little bit, because when people read it, you want it to make sense to them.
Yeah. Cool. Cool. Well, there you have it, guys. 3 strategies on how to mess around with some Amazon keywords, research them, implement them, think outside the box. Shane, thank you so much, man, for jumping on this video with me. Guys, if you want to follow Shane on YouTube, then his subscribe link is going to be in the description below. So go over there, go to his channel, hit that subscribe button. He's got a ton of content around retail arbitrage and how you can basically, pick up some Burt's Bees chapstick and then start selling it on Amazon, right? So definitely subscribe to Shane, subscribe to this channel as well. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button and leave a comment below if you have any questions for me or Shane. But thanks so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.